This is Chris. We're back with Mr. Shawn Gusz. We had to take a brief alien attack moment to make sure some things were okay.
I'm scared.
So we were just talking about the mistakes people make, and you were talking about expecting free money, all that other kind of thing. How do you think affiliate marketing has changed over the last couple of years, and how do you think it's changing over the next couple of years at this point?
Well, I think you kind of hear this all the time, but previous to 2012, getting free traffic was actually like a legitimate, easy thing to do.
It existed as a concept, yeah.
Like it was actually like, oh, okay, that was a good idea. Mm-hmm. Getting super easy free traffic from Google and other search engines. One of our e-commerce sites, it was hit by Penguin, and that was like, it was April 4th or April 12th of 2012, and that was like D-Day for me. You know what I mean?
Totally,
like I was like totally panicked, right?
Well, you wake up and you're like, where's all the money that I'm used to waking up to seeing money and there's no money? What do I do? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was honestly like it was a rough time.
It's like someone just grabs your balls and squeezes. You're like, oh my God, do I have to get a job? Am I gonna have to go work for somebody? What's going on here? I don't understand. Yeah, but I'm probably catching up to you there.
Yeah,
good.
Well, see, obviously, I'd been successful for a while.
Yep.
And I lived in a big house. And I had nice cars. I think at this point I've had like 40 different cars. But I started to look at things differently, right? Yep. Because I was like, oh, well, my business could technically go away. Not overnight, but you know what I mean? Like if Google can come along and say, fuck you, I don't like you. Mm-hmm. I don't like what you're doing. I'm going to cut off half your revenue. It's like, So I kind of started living my life a little bit differently and a little bit more modestly. I'm worth more now than I ever have been, but I've scaled back everything. I live in a house half the size. I don't have a Lamborghini, an Aston Martin, and an Audi R8 anymore. I've got nice cars, but they're not cars that
and that's also why you're going to be well off when you're 50, and so am I, right? Because I see too many of these kids. I'm actually impressed because you got most of the people I know who get money as young as you started getting money blow it, basically, right? Like most people I know, especially in the IM world, they'll come in. Usually they'll sell some magic software thing or something like that. They'll make a couple $1,000,000 early on. They'll buy the Lambos. They'll have a bunch of girls take advantage of them, and they won't pay their. They won't pay. By the way, let's just do this. Pay your taxes.
Oh my God!
Just pay your taxes. I don't care. I don't care if you think it's fair. I don't.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Like you can join the Tea Party. You can protest. You can write to Obama or the Prime Minister of Canada or anybody else. You can do anything you want and end up in jail. That's fine. Yeah. Just pay your taxes.
I definitely do pay my taxes, but where I am,
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. 49% of my income. 49%, so half my income goes for our wonderful friends at the government.
Yeah, and again, like as soon as I started making real money, I got a little less liberal about these kind of things, because you're just like, wait, I am the 1% now, and you're taking a lot. But at the same time, I'm like, it's not worth. You can spend that time making more money as opposed to trying to hide it.
That's true.
And you won't end up like the guy who was in Blade who tried to hide $15 million and went to jail, right? It's like give the piper his due, and also I think what probably you had your come to Jesus moment on was live below your means.
Yes, right? Exactly. And I still live a really nice lifestyle, but I definitely live below my means, which is great, because we talked about this before outside of the call, but you really don't need 500 grand, $1 million a year. You don't need to make $1 million a year to live good.
You can live very. I mean, if you're making anything over $150,000, it would depend. Unless you're in New York City.
Yeah, depending where you live. Exactly.
In Seattle, I think in Seattle to maintain the lifestyle me and my wife live, we need about 150, 200 grand, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's not hard to do.
And with the skill set that I've got and whatever else, that's never going to be a problem.
No, exactly.
And it's also when I'm talking to people who are new in the business who are doing well, I always say winter is coming. Right.
Yes.
That's a line from Game of Thrones, but it's also true. It's like all of this can go away. You're not as smart as you think you are, right?
Invincible.
Yeah. Luck was a much bigger part of your success than you think it was.
Right.
A huge part of it, right? And the only way to continue to be successful is to not assume you're going to continue to be successful. Right?
Yeah. You got to protect yourself, and you got to think. You always think ahead about, okay, if this goes away, what do I have?
And that's not pessimism. That's reality.
No, exactly, because it's going to happen. it's happened to me, like I said, with the Google Penguin update, and you know, I've kind of got past that now, and now I'm kind of back to making that money again. But it's certainly something that anybody who's experiencing any sort of success in affiliate marketing or internet marketing should be thinking of.
Always, always.
Yeah.
And I know,
and even taking that money, you know, the money that you're making, you know, one of the pieces of advice I'd probably like to give anyone is, don't just go and spend it on cars or houses or whatever. You should really be reinvesting it back into your business. You know, whether it be into education, like you know, learning more about internet marketing or legitimate internet marketing, not the press a button to make money online. You know, don't pay for that shit.
Well, I could probably give a list of people not to learn from, which maybe I'll do at some point, because I don't sell anything in that place, but people are always asking me about it, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, people ask me too, and I mean, I kind of give them
honestly, what I will say for affiliate marketing, Mark Ling is legit, and go learn from him, because he gives great shit and he's a good guy. But some of the other people, not so much.
Yeah, well, what I find is, like, you know, Mark Ling's Affiliarama, we talked about that before. Anik Singhal, I find he's a pretty good marketer. Anik Singhal, he's got an offer, Inbox Blueprint, that really, if anybody's looking to learn, you know, email marketing, that's something good to do.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, even Mike Filsame and Andy Jenkins. Like, they've got an offer about traffic genesis, teach people how to make money on Facebook and lead generation and that kind of thing. And then lastly, I think another Canadian, Gohar Chaudhry. Have you heard of him?
I've heard the name. Yeah, I don't know him.
Yeah, he's Canadian, but really good guy, really down to earth. And he strictly teaches people how to do PPC stuff.
Great.
So all sorts of paid traffic, whether it be media buying, YouTube, Facebook, any of that. Like,
personally, I think PPC. If I was new and didn't know how to write copy and wanted to make money, PPC, I think, like, you know, media buying and PPC. If you can learn how to be good at that, like, that's a thing that's just going to continue. And you can, and once you control the traffic, I mean, it's great to control the offers. I'm good at that. I enjoy it. Controlling the traffic is a very powerful position to be in.
Exactly.
Because then you get guys like me calling you up and saying, "Hey, what can I do to make this work for you?" Right? Because and I'll also say, oh God, I had another thought there about some of the training stuff. Oh, the other thing is, for people who are listening who might be new or even have been around for a while, you pick one thing at a time to really focus on.
Yeah, because there's so much information out there. I even have the same thing. Like, I mean, you probably get the same thing, but I get probably 5, 6, 7, 10 emails a day from the next internet marketer.
Well, I unsubscribe from all of them, honestly.
I try to do, unless, like, again, those ones that I mentioned, you know, those 4 or 5 where they're always giving really good content and legitimate content, I pay attention to what they're saying, but pretty much everyone else is like unsubscribe, delete, whatever, right? Because there's so much stuff you can buy, spend your money on, and then there's so much information that you'll never be able to go through it, and it's becomes overwhelming at times. So you really need to, you know, say, okay, you know what, this month I want to learn Facebook marketing, or that's what I want to focus on right now, and then I'll go into email marketing or whatever. But you know, that's really, you should be managing your time and managing your expectations. Like, I don't need to do all this stuff at once, because it's impossible. You're going to burn yourself out.
And you'll fail, basically.
And you will fail, because there's being like, I give up. It's so frustrating, right?
Well, it's also like, you know, Dan Reutman's the guy who owns the Pimsleur Technique business, right? And him and I met, I wrote the video, which is still the control for them, basically. It's the, hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm going to teach you whatever, blah, blah, blah. I wrote that. That was one of the last things I did as a freelance copywriter. I got a nice check for it, and it's still running after all these years, which is pretty cool. But Dan built a business that at that point was worth $40 million a year in revenue that he was pulling, which I thought was amazing, right?
That's crazy.
And Dan's also just a fantastic guy, love him to death. And what he taught me, above and beyond anything else, was what you were saying about reinvesting in your business, right? Whatever that might mean, because it can mean, for me, it actually means hiring the right people, paying them well. You know, we did this big launch. I reinvested my business by buying cool shit for my employees, in a way, because I was like, listen, this was you guys too.
Yeah, it shows you're appreciated.
Yeah, and it's not just me that did this in any way, right? Like, I'm a big cog, but I'm still just a cog. And it was also just what he told me was, like, especially when it comes to traffic or anything, or your funnel or whatever, anything else, focus on one thing till you got it dialed. Right? Like, if you're going to work on Google AdWords PPC, work on Google AdWords PPC and keep working on it until you get it dialed. If you're going to do Facebook, work on that until you get it dialed. If you're going to start getting into buying emails for offers, you know, buying email lists that are out there.
Things,
and like, get to a point. You don't have to get to a point of 100% mastery, because we all know that's really hard.
It's possible,
But get to the point where you are really good at that one thing before you move on to the next thing. Because that, you know, even at conferences, I've been at conferences before where I've spoken, and I've gone to lunch with some folks, and I've only sold things from the stage a few times at conferences and done well when I did it, but it's not something I'm passionate about. And I've seen these people who are new, who are like, they make 70 grand a year, they're whatever else, they're just getting into it. And I'm sitting there with one guy and I'm like, so how are you enjoying the conference? Like, well, good. I bought this guy's course and this guy's course and this guy's course and this guy's course. I'm like,
yeah, good luck.
I'm like, dude, that's $8,000.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not going to go through, I mean, even if the courses are good, and a lot of them aren't, by the way. Somebody gave me a compliment for this webinar the other day. They said that content was better than most $1,000 courses. And my response was, most $1,000 courses are absolute crap, right? They're just crap in a box. Yeah.
And plus, a lot of those courses, they have a lot of overlap, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
like teaching the same thing, trying to really learn the same thing. Whereas like if I'm buying a course or trying to join something, it's going to be really specific. Like either, okay, this is how you do Facebook. This is how you do email. This is how you do copywriting. This is how you make videos. Like I don't want something on just like, here's how you be an internet marketer, because you're going to be like, it's all over the place and it's just, it's not, you really need to focus on it.
And trying to explain, I mean, I'm actually working on possibly doing a course that kind of shows my end-to-end process on how I create. Yeah, and I think there's actually a market for that because
sign me up.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, and it would be probably relatively pricey, and there would be the first version of it's going to involve interactivity and webinars and things like that, because I actually want my people to succeed, right? I want people to. I'm even talking to ClickBank about having them sponsor it in some way because they want more. Because they want more offers that convert.
They are. They're they're getting good. I mean, I went to a big ClickBank seminar in Toronto, and they're getting a lot more.
They've gotten. They have turned. They have turned around.
Like they're really blasting out, trying to develop online entrepreneurs and doing anything they can. And that's good for even the affiliates that are watching this call that might eventually be product owners. Is that they're there to help you. Like they're there to try and make it as easy as possible. And
they weren't always. I'm going to say that. Like
sure.
Up until a year ago, I had a big argument with ClickBank when there was an issue where somebody was launching a product on ClickBank, which was a blatant ripoff of one of our offers, and I got in touch with ClickBank and was like, shut this guy down, and they said no.
I had the exact same thing. When my breast enlargement booster bus, which is a great offer in English, I do have a Spanish version now, but there was a previous Spanish version that's still online on ClickBank. I just couldn't convince them because they couldn't justify that it was similar enough or whatever. I'm like, whatever.
In this case, this guy stole. I mean, he stole the name. He stole the content. I mean, he changed the name by one. He changed the name by one word, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The content was 80% the exact same stuff that we did. And again, this was for Text Your Ex Back. I don't own the concept of texting. There are other people who have things that are about texting to get your ex back on ClickBank. Those people certainly did get the idea from me because we were the first person to do it. I can't and won't bother doing anything about that. But if you're stealing my freaking intellectual property, and then I go to the publisher, the vendor, ClickBank, and they basically just go, meh? That was an issue.
Especially someone who's doing a lot of money on ClickBank.
No, we process millions of dollars. We're a top 10 vendor for them. Even when we're not in the top 10, we're a top 10 vendor for them as far as stuff. And I had a long talk with Alex Moore over there, who's a wonderful guy. And since then, though, those guys have turned everything around. New executive team, very affiliate friendly, very vendor friendly, and really trying to help people make money and help people build businesses. So
it's only in the last year and a half, I think, that I've actually been assigned a dedicated person at ClickBank that will help me. Josh Valencia, he does pretty much anything. He's a super, super helpful guy. And if I need anything done or changed or something, my account's like done in 5 minutes.
And they're on it. And whereas it used to be, you would get stuck in approval hell for all this time. I think actually we submitted the sales video for Sex the Romance back years ago, and it had one of those little Rachel Ray icons on the bottom, right? Because I was on Rachel Ray for the show, and they came back to us, and the approval department was like, "You can't use that icon." I'm like, "Why not?" Like, because we're not allowing people to use fake icons about pretending to be on shows. I'm like,
I was on the show.
I'm like, here's a picture of me. Here's me on Skype talking to you. And here's the guy who's in the show. Do you see a resemblance? And it was actually a big deal.
There's some other bald white guy.
Yeah, there are. I do look a lot like China Melville, the author, so that might have been him. But it was really like an issue where it used to be at ClickBank where like the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. They were really scared in a lot of ways. Their executive team was not really pushing revenue forward. They had a lot of dead weight on their team, honestly. They had people that probably shouldn't have been there who were managing clients. But I got to say, like, especially in the last I've only started getting involved with them personally again in the last few months as I've started to feel better. But my team has been telling me that they have been excellent as far as approval and as far as like introducing us to affiliates and making connections. And, you know, we were actually in the process of trying to move a lot of our volume off of ClickBank and then stopped.
Okay.
We were actually, you know, we set up our own vendor account. We were doing all this other stuff. We were basically like, we're just gonna, we can't rely on these guys, and we're a little scared because of the approval thing and all this other stuff. So we're gonna do our own stuff. And then since they've kind of turned around, we stopped. So let's get towards the end here. I mean, we could talk all day, but one more question, and then I want to talk about what you are doing. So one is, what's the number one piece of advice you would make someone who's just starting out, trying to become an affiliate?
Well, I think I kind of touch base a little bit on that, but it's basically just don't try and go at it alone with just free advice that you could find online and trying to build something from nothing. I mean, there's certain people that don't have a choice. You know, they don't have.
Now you broke up there a little bit, so we're going to
stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
But like, you know, I mentioned. We were good? We got the connection?
Yeah, we lost you for a second there. I think you're basically just saying don't try to go on the free advice stuff, but continue off of that.
Yeah, just don't try to go on the free advice and try to, you know, you can certainly build something from nothing, but if you have at least the ability to put a little bit of money into quality training, you know, from like one of those guys that, you know, I had mentioned or you had mentioned, you know, Mark and Nick.
But I would say pick one guy, pick one person. One guy or girl. Pick,
at least to start.
Yeah, pick one person and really do. I mean, even if I come out with something or you come out with something, I mean, if I come out with something, it's going to be quality, it's going to be good.
Right.
Do it. You know, like
follow it through. You know, absorb it. Maybe do it. Maybe go through it twice. You know, if you've got to. But certainly, spending money on a little bit of training and education is beneficial.
It is.
And then also
on the right stuff if you take action.
Yes, on the right stuff, not the crap offers that are, you know, make money. Next day, you're going to be $100,000 richer. Ignore that stuff. But basically, you know, if you want to kind of get up and running fast, you know, you could always try what I did. You know, if you've got some money available, either buying an existing website, something that you're somewhat even remotely interested in or not, you know, but something that makes money that's gonna you can look at it as an investment and something you can build because you're gonna get started way quicker without starting from zero, or even, you know, getting into at least learning and paying for free traffic to start building a list, whether it be in, you know, the relationship niche or, you know, pet training or whatever it may be. There's so many niches online.
There's about 10. There's about 10 great ones if you want to go big, but there's hundreds that are profitable. You know,
for sure.
You know, like I play drums, for instance, and there's a few people out there who are making millions of dollars a year selling drum training stuff, and they show a lot of videos, and they have basically drum gurus and things like that, and it does wonderful. Guitar, whatever else, golf, pets, you know, video game. You know, there's people that are making a lot of money showing people how to show people how to play video games online and make money.
Showing people how to show people. That's
exactly. Like showing people.
It doesn't surprise me though, because, you know, even I'm in some strange niches that you'd like. That doesn't make money, but it does. You know, and I think, you know, keep talking about Mark Ling, but he's a Filorama, and, you know, he's got these jetpacks that are like he basically give you. You know what you need to get started, right? So that's always.
And by the way, neither Shawn or I are getting a dime for talking about Mark.
There's no link to click here.
Shawn, I mean, Mark would give us a dime if we asked for it, very happily. And I'm going to have him on at some point as one of these interviews as well. But we're recommending Mark because Mark is the most ethical person in the business.
Yeah, he's stellar.
And I mean, I have joked about this. I was on the phone with. I was talking to him and one of his students, actually, Dan Matson, who I might have on later, who's a new affiliate, who made his first dime with LOD. You know, he made his first couple of sales ever with LOD, and I can't wait to talk to him. And we were joking about Mark, and Mark was there, and I was saying, yeah, I own badthingsaboutmarkling.com, and it's a blank page. Because there's nothing to say, right? You can say that I'm obnoxious and loud and, you know, aggressive and whatever else. Mark's just great. Like there's just
nothing. You can tell just by watching him in his videos, or seeing him talk, that he's not bullshitting. He's not, you know, he's not elaborating on things that he shouldn't. Like, it's all just like meat and potatoes is what you need to know.
He will never lie to you. And the thing that made me really adore Mark, and I consider him a mentor in some ways, and I think he considers me a mentor in some ways. It's kind of weird, and I'm older, so that's weird. Was when I mailed one of his offers early on when our list was much smaller, and I forgot to put the affiliate link in. Right? You know, because it happens. Sometimes you're just like, you put or maybe it was my VA or somebody. I think it was probably me though. We just messed up. You know, you copy and paste, and then you just forget to actually change.
I've done it before.
Yeah, to change the thing. And the ID that was in there was like a fill ID or something like that. And I'm like, and I wrote him like, oh, damn it. I probably lost out on a couple $1,000s here. I feel like an idiot. What am I going to do? And he said, oh, I'm just going to give you that. I actually own a fill ID that was in there. I'm going to reassign that to you because you're the one that drove all the sales on it.
Nice.
And I was like, so that's how you do it, right? And since then, I've had people who have made similar mistakes and I've cut them checks, right?
Good. Oh, that's really good.
Because you're just like, this is, in business, it's like you actually make more money doing things the right way. Right?
Yeah. And then we talked about this before, but as a product owner, your affiliates are like you're basically your livelihood.
They are.
You know, most of my ClickBank offers, they don't get any organic traffic because they're not real organic quality sort of sites that Google would rank really high. Well, so we value our affiliates.
Well, how to make your penis bigger by playing video games is pretty weird, but you know, I am pretty good at Tomb Raider, and it might have inspired some things in the past, but that's not quite what we're going for. But no, your affiliates. I mean, again, for vendors, I have to hit people over the head with this who are in the seduction niche or in other niches. I'm like, your affiliates are the people who bought your house, basically, right? I mean, your customers
affiliates bought my car.
Yeah. Your affiliates and your customers, basically, right? Like those two people, you need to have respect for both of them, even if you don't respect, some of the things you're selling. You're like, wow, people really buy this, whatever else. These are people. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about what you got going on. I know you've got a new launch coming up in February. Let's talk about what this is, and is there anybody where people can go to hear about it more? I'll probably when it gets closer, I will very gladly send an email to my affiliate list for you, promoting it, because I just know from knowing you it's going to be a quality kind of thing. But why don't you elaborate a little bit about what that's going to be? Yeah,
so like the offer that we're launching in February is actually called something Empowered Mind Videos. So anybody in the personal development or
Oh, darn it, you froze again.
Action type stuff.
Hold on, you froze again. So, and you're in the middle of talking about your own stuff. So I definitely want you to get it all out there. So go ahead.
I'm going to start again.
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
Okay, so the offer is called Empowered Mind Videos.
Yep.
Mindvideos.com, basically. And it is a self-improvement and personal development offer. So it's basically anyone into the law of attraction type niche.
Yep, huge niche. Yep.
It's huge. Its personal development is massive. And what's funny about personal development is that it's kind of universal. So you can, even if you're not specifically in personal development and you've got a list that responds to anything that's like self-help, self-improvement, make yourself better in general offers, it'll kind of resonate with them.
Our list does well with it as long as there's a proper bridge. As long as there's a proper way to get there from how to get a man to what this is going to be. It works quite well.
Yeah. So basically, they're visualization tools. So we have these really high-end videos, nothing like that's on the internet right now. It's basically, our videos are high-resolution theme video. They have built-in subliminal commands, both audio and visual. I mean, they're just great. They're fantastic for this type of manifestation type people who are using subliminals or affirmation specifically. So basically, we've got a collection of 45 videos, new ones being added all the time, and we're testing both a one-time fee kind of offer as well as a continuity offer. That's we've pushed the launch to February, so we can kind of optimize that, get the biggest APCs, make sure our affiliates are well taken care of, obviously.
By the way, can we just stop for a second and say that is wonderful and shockingly weird?
What's weird?
That it's what, October when we're recording this video?
Yeah, October.
And you're already getting things ready for a launch in February. And that's wonderful. And I'm really happy. As an affiliate who will most likely promote, this makes me really happy. And it's something, for sure. and like in my niche, we do the same thing with our stuff. We get it ready early, we test, we get momentum, we do these things. So many people don't.
Right, and they just launch an offer. And
I've had people before who have called me and they've said, Chris, we really want you to mail. We know you have a huge list. You always win the contests. The launch starts on Tuesday. Here's your swipe. And I say, well, can I see your sales video script? Yeah, it's not done yet. And I go, no.
I think the funny thing is even in the personal development space, is there's so many offers.
There are.
Is that we don't even really have a choice. Like if I wanted to launch it next month, I could.
Oh, it's saturated.
But it would be like with other 3, 4, 5 other offers because there's like something new coming out every week, right? So it was kind of like we need to make sure that our affiliates have enough time and they can schedule to mail in February, which is February 1st to 15th. By the way, we're giving away like $15,000, obviously in contest prizes, the usual that you'd expect. but basically, yeah, like you pretty much have to do that. And plus, whatever we can do to make the offer convert better, whether it be on the front end or the upsells, is going to make
and the upsells. I mean, oh god, we focused more on the upsells for this new one than we ever have before.
I know. I saw your post about writing 13,000 words
on hand jobs.
What was the book about? Hand job.
It was called Stroke of Genius, and it's the ultimate hand job handbook. And I wrote the entire thing in one day. It was 13,000 words, and I spent most of that time sitting in a chair at the treatment room at the Lyme clinic I'm going to with an IV in my arm. And then I had tendonitis, and I wrote it as Felicity Keith, who is a real person, but that's not her real name. It was just that she didn't have time to get that done and the other stuff. So I ghost wrote it for her because I care, and it worked because we actually went from I think we originally started at a 6% conversion rate on our first upsell, and it got up to about 25% by the time we were done with the launch.
That's huge. Like, that's a lot of money
on a $97 offer, a $97 upsell. And there's some secrets that I may eventually reveal of how we did that are really sneaky and really cool. But it was awesome. So that's going to be February 1st, February 15th, so right around Valentine's Day. And I'm assuming you're giving 75%, or what's the deal there as far as stuff goes?
Yeah, we're giving 75%, and it's going to depend on whether it's the recurring or one-time offer. So it's going to depend. If it's a one-time offer, 75%. Yep. Recurring, it'll be 75% on the front end, 50% on the recurring commissions.
Which is standard and generous, which is great.
Pretty much standard for any continuity offer. Yep. But yeah, we'll figure it out from then. Basically, whatever we can do to maximize the dollar value for our affiliates and our customers is certainly what I'm going to be doing.
And again, there's the attitude. I mean, for affiliates who are listening, or even product owners who are listening, that's the attitude you want to have. It's for the affiliates. I mean, when we're also getting our offers to start working on cold traffic and stuff, that's a different thing. When you're spending your own money, you do different things. But when you're trying to make money with your affiliates, you think about your freaking affiliates.
Because you've only got, it's like a one-shot deal. If you're doing a launch, it's got to work. Otherwise, because it's an evergreen offer. I mean, once the launch is done, we're not shutting it down. You can promote it.
By the way, Jeff Walker's a good friend of mine, and he does the PLF formula thing where you do shut it down. I think that's a fine formula for things that are more expensive. I don't do it for our stuff because we're doing $50-ish front ends and then going from there. And I'm using my launch as a way to get attention and momentum, and then build this out so that I know it's going to make us X hundreds of thousands of dollars a year forever. Basically. Yeah,
it's going to be pretty consistent, exactly, and that's the same thing. So I mean, you want to go at it good and make it good the right time. You can optimize later for sure. But if you don't do a good job in the beginning, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot for any future revenue, right?
Yeah, and it's also reputation. I mean, this is something I talk to people about all the time. I've been around this business for a while. Like you said before, if I just say we have a new offer coming out and you have a list or a traffic source that you know is going to work for it, you're not going to spend a lot of time digging through the sales letter and everything else. You're just going to send it because there's a very small chance it's going to be bad, right? Yeah. It's possible, maybe we totally whiff, but I mean, honestly, if we totally whiffed, we would know before we asked you to mail it, and then we would redo it or pull it before that would actually happen. But this is one of the things, like so many people that are getting into the niche for the first time, they're like, oh, well, Chris does launch contests, so I'm going to do a launch contest. Oh, the only launch contest availability is next week, so I'm going to launch it next week. Oh, I better write my sales letter. And then it bombs. And I'm like, guys, here's the deal. Like for me, I've done, I don't know, 12 products in this niche in the last 4 years or something like that. And I would say 7 of those have been massive hits and the others have been good. And that means that if I had a bomb, my affiliates would forgive me, right?
Yes.
They would come back to me and they would say, you had an off game, son. It's okay. Like, that's weird. Something happened, whatever. They would even come to me and say, I think there's something wrong with my list at first. I think some of them would be right? But if you're new and if you don't have a track record and you come out of the gate with a bomb, you kill that relationship. People will be nice to you, right?
Yes.
They'll say hi. They won't mail you again.
Yeah.
Right? They won't promote you again. And I'm like, and so I mean, this is a relationship-based business. Like when we talk about
very heavily, especially when you're a big affiliate. It's all who you know and kind of co-mailing and
it's a relationship and it's reputation. And if you're somebody, we just spent all this time for no good reason except for we like him talking about Mark Ling, right?
Yeah.
There have been
great guy Mark is.
He is, and I've had people tell me that I get like Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher were just talking about me on stage at one of their masterminds about some of that stuff because your reputation is really one of your most valuable assets as it goes forward. And there are people in internet marketing who do make a lot of money by being scumbags. They don't last.
Right.
Right? They might make a lot of money for a short period of time, and they don't last. Like,
right.
Yeah. So I think it's a good place to start. Anything else? Is there anywhere people can go to sign up for your affiliate list at this point? Or
mindvideos.com/affiliates with an S. So
I'm going to mark that down so I can put it under the blog post here. So it's mindvideos.com/affiliates. And guys, I'm not, Shawn's not paying me to tell you to go check out his stuff or anything like that. I will be mailing you guys again about Shawn's launch probably in January to remind you about this. I plan on promoting it myself and maybe even winning his contest. We'll see what happens. But that's just because I know Shawn's a good guy, and even though he's not a good copywriter himself, he's going to make sure this freaking thing works.
Exactly.
Right? Because reputation is everything, and relationships are everything. Shawn, anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, the one thing I wanted to add, I mean, you probably already know this, but with our list, with our offer Boost Your Bust, and with that list, Language of Desire, your recent product, that was the highest EPCs I had ever seen, really, in the last year.
What did you end up getting on that EPC wise? Do you remember?
I think it was like 70 to 75 cents.
Yep. Front end on that. Yeah.
On that list. So I mean, most of the stuff I mail to that list is 30 cents to 60 cents, you know what I mean? And this list isn't huge, it's 30,000 people.
But it's still good. And I mean, I saw a lot of sales come in, and they did a lot of upsells and everything else.
Yeah.
And again, this goes back to our conversation before about EPC. 70 cents for my list, I would consider a B offer. But for that particular list, that's really freaking good, right? It's all about,
it's not a dating list by any means.
No, and there's no absolute numbers, right? There's no absolute numbers of any kind. And it's also about how much freaking money did you make at the end of the day? Were the refunds low? Did your list get that was a big thing too for Language Desire. We had a lot of people who said, "Oh God, I'm really not sure if I can mail this because it's sexy." And I'm like, if you actually watch Language Desire video, by the way, it's about sex, but it isn't actually sexual in a weird way, which is very much on purpose. But those were the same. They were really nervous, and I had to talk to them, and I said, "Well, try it out to a segment." And those were the same people that came back and said, highest conversions I've ever seen, and I didn't get any complaints. But because there can be cost, people come to me sometimes and say, "Hey, mail my how to bang hookers product or something like that," and I'm like, "No, because that costs me. Even if it converts, it's not worth it for me at that point."
Yeah, and I mean, I found a lot of things, just as a side note, with some of my other lists, especially the personal development list related to Mind videos. I mean, I've mailed stuff to that list that was not even related to personal development, but was related to, like, for example, Anik Singh's inbox blueprint offer. I mailed that. We made $5,000-$6,000. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money, but that's not a make money online list.
No, and actually that's a lot of money. It's actually still a lot of money because it's $5,000. That's one of the things too that I think is important is, like, as you get more successful, a lot of money is still a lot of money. Right? Like,
But my point is here is that it's like, if you're an affiliate with, you don't specifically have a dating list, you can still make money on a dating offer or a personal development offer.
I'm going to talk about how to do bridges on, like, because I just wrote a bridge for the back pain guys the other day about how to do bridges to other niches effectively, right? And granted, not all, I'm not going to mail a golf offer to my women's list ever.
Right.
I actually wouldn't mail a make money offer to my women's list either because it wouldn't work. But I would mail a make money offer to my men's dating list. Right? Because I know that psychographically they're a little bit more kind of on there. Well, Shawn, anything else you want to say? This has been awesome. It's been really great to talk. Well, cool. So this has been Shawn. How do I say your last name? I forget.
Gusz.
Shawn Gusz, the wonderful man behind Boost Buzz, and a great affiliate for us for years. I mean, every time I see one of your affiliate IDs popping up, I'm like, yay, Shawn's mailing again. This is wonderful. And it just makes me happy to see the stuff going through.
Mailing for sure.
Yeah, and it's great. So thank you so much for giving up an hour and a half of your time. I know that you got a baby back there somewhere who you got to deal with.
Yeah, she's actually behind my laptop staring at me weird.
Oh, that's adorable.
I know.
Babies are cute, and the internet lets you feed them. It's nice.
It's true, right?
It's wonderful. True? So guys who have listened to this and watched this, please leave some comments down below. If you have any questions or anything like that, please let us know. And do go and sign up for Shawn's affiliate list as well. It's going to be a good offer. It's going to be a good thing to promote. It's going to be in a niche that's tangential to what we normally do in the relationship stuff. Sure. And as you can tell from having seen Shawn talk for the last hour and a half, good dude who will actually take care of you. What a weird concept. Okay, I've been Chris. He's been Shawn. I'm going to stop the recording right